She rose from the ashes of adversity to become a queen of her own empire. Meet Stephanie St Clair. Born in the Caribbean island of Guadeloupe, Stephanie's early life was fraught with hardship. Poverty, violence, and oppression were her constant companions. Yet she was not one to be easily defeated. A woman of ambition, Stephanie journeyed across the ocean, leaving behind the familiarity of Guadeloupe for the vibrant and bustling streets of Harlem, New York. It was the era of the Harlem Renaissance, a cultural revolution that was brewing with creativity, innovation, and an indomitable spirit of resilience. In Harlem, Stephanie found more than just a new home. She discovered a land of opportunity, an arena where she could flex her entrepreneurial muscles. And so she ventured into the numbers game, an underground lottery that was immensely popular among the African American community. But Stephanie was no ordinary player in this game of chance. She was a visionary. She saw beyond the immediate thrill of the gamble. She recognized the potential for a lucrative business. With a keen mind and a fearless spirit, Stephanie built an empire from this numbers game, becoming one of the most successful and influential figures in Harlem's underworld. Her business tactics were as savvy as they were bold. She managed her operation with the precision of a seasoned executive, ensuring that her profits soared while her enemies were kept at bay. She was a woman in a man's world, standing her ground and refusing to be overshadowed. She amassed a fortune, becoming a self-made millionaire in a time when such feats were unheard of for a woman, let alone a black woman. But Stephanie St Clair was not just a numbers runner. She was a force to be reckoned with. Her story is a testament to the power of determination, resilience, and sheer grit. She was more than just a numbers runner. She was a symbol of resilience and determination. Through her rise, Stephanie St Clair redefined what it meant to be a woman of power, paving the way for future generations to dream bigger, fight harder, and rise higher. In the ruthless world of organized crime, Stephanie St Clair was a force to be reckoned with. The 20s roared with jazz, flappers, and numbers. Yes, numbers. The numbers game, a kind of lottery, was the lifeblood of Harlem. And it was in this world of chance that Stephanie St Clair carved out her empire. She was a queen, a numbers queen, and her kingdom was Harlem. But every kingdom has its threats, and for Stephanie, that threat came in the form of a man named Dutch Schultz. Schultz, a mobster with eyes set on Harlem, aimed to claim the numbers game for his own. He was ruthless, brutal, and relentless, but so was Stephanie. She stood tall, refusing to let Schultz take over her business, her livelihood. Despite the danger, despite the threats, Stephanie was unyielding. She was a woman in a man's world, a black woman in a white man's world, yet she refused to be silenced, refused to be pushed aside. Schultz came at her with everything he had. He used intimidation, violence, and even law enforcement, trying to scare Stephanie into submission. But instead of backing down, she fought back. She hired bodyguards, sought legal action, and used her influence to protect her business, her people. There's a saying, courage isn't having the strength to go on, it's going on when you don't have the strength. Stephanie embodied this. She was more than just a numbers queen. She was a beacon of resilience, a symbol of defiance. The war between Stephanie and Schultz was more than just a fight for control of the numbers game. It was a testament to Stephanie's courage, her determination, her indomitable spirit. She was a woman who refused to be controlled, refused to be dominated. She stood up to Schultz, to the mob, to a world that told her she couldn't, and in doing so, she proved that she could. Even in the face of danger, Stephanie refused to back down. But Stephanie St Clair was more than a criminal, she was a crusader for justice. Our story wouldn't be complete without underscoring Stephanie's tireless efforts in fighting police corruption, a battle she waged alongside her notorious criminal activities. Often she was the one shining a spotlight on the underhanded dealings, the corruption, the dirty money that was allowed to run rampant in the shadows of New York's finest. She exposed the hypocrisy of the system, the rot within the so-called pillars of justice. Her courage was an affront to those who believed they were untouchable, and in doing so, she became a beacon for those who felt voiceless. Yet her fight didn't stop at the precinct doors. Stephanie St Clair was a vocal advocate for the black community, a champion for civil rights during a time when the concept was still in its infancy. She used her wealth and influence to uplift her community, investing in businesses, funding scholarships, and even launching a newspaper to educate and inform her people about their rights, their power, and the injustices that they faced. Stephanie was not just a player in the criminal underworld, she was a force to be reckoned with in the world above, a world that was often more corrupt and treacherous than the one she navigated with such finesse. She was a woman of principle, who believed in the power of her community and fought tooth and nail to protect it. Even when her empire began to crumble, when the numbers game was no longer hers to control, Stephanie did not fade into the background. She emerged as a woman of substance, a woman of conviction, a woman who was unafraid to challenge the status quo. Her life beyond crime was a testament to her indomitable spirit, her unwavering belief in justice, and her commitment to her community. She was a queen not just of numbers but of justice and equality. Stephanie St Clair, ladies and gentlemen, was a woman who wore many crowns, each one more impressive than the last. The end of Stephanie's reign was as remarkable as her rise. The Queen of Numbers, as she was known, had amassed a fortune, but as the years wore on, she knew it was time to step away from her criminal empire. Stephanie St Clair retired, stepping away from the numbers game, but never truly leaving it behind. She used her wealth wisely, investing in legitimate businesses and even real estate, remaining a significant figure in Harlem. Her life, post-crime, was filled with activism. She used her voice and influence to fight against police brutality, advocating for the rights of the African American community. She wasn't just a former crime boss, she was a force for change, a beacon of hope for those who felt unheard. Her relationship with Bumpy Johnson, a notorious mob associate, was a complex one. While some say he was her enforcer, others claim he was more like a protege. She taught him the ropes, showed him how to navigate the treacherous waters of organized crime, but she also instilled in him a sense of community, a responsibility towards the people of Harlem. In December of 1969, Stephanie St Clair passed away. Her death marked the end of an era, but her legacy was far from over. She left behind a blueprint, a path for others to follow. She was proof that a woman, particularly a black woman, could rise above her circumstances and make a name for herself. She was more than just a crime boss. She was a philanthropist, an activist, a mentor. Her life was a testament to her resilience and determination. She was a woman who defied the odds, who refused to let society dictate her worth. Even in the face of adversity, she persevered, she fought, and she thrived. She was Stephanie St Clair, the Queen of Numbers, the woman who took on Dutch Schultz and won. She was a woman of strength, of courage, of tenacity, and she left behind a legacy that continues to inspire, to motivate, and to empower. Even in death, Stephanie St Clair's legacy lived on. Stephanie St Clair's life was a testament to the power of resilience and determination. From the sunny shores of Martinique to the bustling streets of Harlem, her journey was one of grit, audacity, and an unyielding spirit. Born into hardship, she rose above her circumstances, carving out a life for herself that was the stuff of legends. As bold as she was cunning, Stephanie St Clair became a formidable force in the world of organized crime. And yet, she was so much more than the numbers queen she was often reduced to. Stephanie's influence extended far beyond the clandestine operations of the numbers game. She was a pillar in the Harlem community, a beacon of empowerment. She used her wealth not just for personal gain, but for the upliftment of her people. She funded civil rights movements, contributed to the Harlem Renaissance, and fought tirelessly against the systemic injustices that plagued her community. Her battle with Dutch Schultz, a notorious mobster, was not just a power struggle, but a fight for the soul of Harlem. Stephanie refused to let her community fall into the hands of those who did not have its best interests at heart. Her courage in standing up to Schultz, a man feared by many, was a testament to her fearless spirit. In her later years, Stephanie chose a life away from the criminal world. Her retirement was a period of quiet reflection, a time for her to focus on her philanthropic efforts. Even in death, her influence did not wane. Her legacy lived on in the hearts and minds of those she touched. Today, Stephanie's story continues to inspire. It serves as a reminder that no matter where we come from, no matter the obstacles we face, we have the power to shape our own destiny. Her life is a testament to the fact that courage, resilience, and determination can pave the way for extraordinary achievements. Stephanie St Clair, a woman who dared to defy the odds, a queen who will forever be remembered.